Hi there, this is Kathleen Salmons, and this is the Untapped Entrepreneur. And I wanted to talk today about why I changed the name. And it kind of seems a little early, maybe, because I just started doing this at the beginning of this month, and we're still in January. But it was really important to me because while I think that the leveraged expert makes a lot of sense, I got a lot of feedback that it was really full of jargon. And the jargon that I was using, that term leverage, it doesn't even mean the same thing in different contexts. So like a person who is fully leveraged in their investments means they have a lot of debt and no way to position out of it. That isn't at all what I mean. And so after a lot of brainstorming, a lot of soul searching, a lot of thesaurus looking up, I needed to come up with another term. And that's where the Untapped Entrepreneur came in. And here's why. I believe that we are at the very beginning of making money on the internet, in the same way that we were at the very beginning of the modern English language in Shakespeare's time. So what that means for anybody watching this is that in 20 years, we're going to look back on this time. Oh my gosh, do you remember in 2020 when it was so cheap to advertise on Facebook, or when it was so cheap to get started? Because in 20 years, the market is going to be more full than it is today. And big remotely, people will be working from home much more often, and a lot more people will be working for themselves. So if you've been online for a little while, it can kind of seem like all the ideas are tapped out. And I want you to know that that is not at all true. And that there are only three different things that you have to focus on if you want to be a part of this economy. The first is your expertise. So the things that you've spent your time getting good at, whether that's something you studied in college or something that you just keep getting asked to do at work, or the hobbies, the things that you spend your time reading about. That's your expertise. The second piece is positioning. So there's a difference between getting paid whatever dollar amount for a blog post and getting paid to speak on a stage at a keynote. And positioning yourself as an expert will get you on more stages than simply just writing blog posts. And then the third is a marketing engine. Everybody needs a marketing. And to me, that's the minimum required combination of website and emails and all that. And I think that's where a lot of potential entrepreneurs get tripped up, is that they think, like, they hear me talking about webinars and they're like, oh my God, one more thing. Or somebody tells them that they need to be on Instagram, and somebody else tells them they need to be on Pinterest, and somebody else tells them they need to be on Facebook. And they're like, how could I possibly spend all this time marketing when I have a business to run and clients to serve or a product to create? And so that's where this whole video series is headed. And we have been talking about webinars all of January. This is the last episode in January. So what we're going to do going forward is that every month we're going to switch topics. So next month we are going to be talking about expertise and how to build your expertise and how to kind of decide what you're going to specialize in. And this can be really, really challenging. And I'm excited to dive into each little piece, in these tiny little micro chunks at a time, because while it is overwhelming to say hey, all you have to do is figure out, and then you need to get going. It's a little bit more complicated than that. And it can feel like if you pick one path, you have to dedicate yourself to that path. And I have seen, especially in the personal finance community, if like me, for example, I started blogging to get myself out of consumer debt. And by the time I was done, I was pretty done talking about money. I'm out of debt. Like, my story became not at all interesting to me or anybody else. And that can happen when you get, I mean, if you have a website called I'm going to lose 20pounds.com, what do you do after you do that? So what I mean is, it's not that it's hard. It's that you are so smart, you are so talented, that it's really hard to pick your first thing. And we'll get into that all throughout February. And I'm so excited about that. And I really want to help anybody watching this untap their innate knowledge, innate talents, and help them position themselves as an expert and get paid what the market will pay experts in order to build a life that you want. And that is the Untapped Entrepreneur. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk more about this in February. And as we move into the year, we will switch topics between those three each month. And I'll see you if you are watching this for the first time. Hello. Subscribe. We go live at 8:45 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Mondays and Wednesdays. And if you just hit like on the page, you'll get notified when we go live. I will see you on Monday. Have a great week, everybody.